Yo, what the fuck is up, everybody? In today's video, I'm coming at you with my Escape Storytime Part 2. Alright guys, I got myself a nice little joint rolled up and sparked right here. This is my first smoke of the day, so you know damn well I am ready to get fried, guys. Just got myself a new fresh cut, feeling good. Let's go ahead and get right into this video. As always, this is right off the top of my head. Although I have attempted to tell this story in the past, it's been a while, and I don't write down anything beforehand or whatever like a lot of Storytime YouTubers will do. At least I've heard, some other Storytime YouTubers mention that in their videos. They'll like write down what happened, like this happened, then this happened. I don't do that. This is all, me remembering the sequence of events, just off the top of my head as I tell the story, trying to remember, okay, then this happened next, and okay, then this happened next. You get what I'm saying. So I'm trying to tell the story as best as I can, but really just getting fried with you guys, having a good ass time, you know what I'm saying? Hope you guys are smoking along. I think this is going to be a banger of a video, but just getting my joint nice and lit up. Cheers, everybody. So let's get right into this. When I had gotten back from, leaving my first time, I kind of have to put it that way. The first time I uploaded my Escape Storytime video, I ended up getting a strike on YouTube, strike on my channel. So I don't want that shit to happen again. It was just a warning strike, actually. I don't want to get a real strike, though. That would fucking suck. But, yeah, guys, so I came back from leaving the first time, and I didn't get in any trouble at all. That's how I quickly came to the realization that the entire reason that I was sent to this residential facility really was just because I was getting in trouble over and over again. My probation program ended up sending me to this residential facility because they just didn't want anything else to do with me. I was racking up court fees and just, getting in trouble over really minor, stupid things, but, they just didn't want me in fucking court every week having to deal with me over the stupidest, dumbest shit, me getting suspended from school or like just leaving school and go to my friend's house. So the first time I left this residential facility was in summertime. At this point, it was just becoming winter. So one day comes around and I'm chilling in the living room of this residential facility, right? So I'm just sitting in there, and I'm sitting there with a bunch of different kids from there. It's the one friend that I had made there, the only kid who I had fucked with, the only kid who was actually cool. He wasn't like weird or anything. I mentioned this in part 1, but the thing about that place was, for some reason, basically every single kid there was just extremely weird. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, just that everybody made me super fucking uncomfortable. Like, people would just say the weirdest shit. Like, most motherfuckers there just had no filter, but it wasn't the type of shit where they would just like say shit that would like be hurtful or whatever. No, they would say shit that was just like ridiculously fucking weird, man. Like, I don't know. So many years ago that I can't recall exactly what these people said to me, but I just didn't fuck with anybody. I gave everybody a chance, as I always have, always done in life. I give everybody a chance until, you lose my respect or whatever. I just don't want to be around you anymore. And that's how it was with every kid there besides this one fucking dude. And a couple other girls, were all right. And that's who we were chilling with. We were chilling with 2 other girls there that, we were friends with. And, it was me and my friend as well. So we're all just sitting there hanging out, whatever, and we get into the topic of leaving this place, right? Well, those 2 girls didn't want anything to do with it. They didn't want anything to do with it, so we kind of start talking about something else and whatever, and they end up leaving, and then we get back into talking about leaving this place. Just me and my friend are sitting there in the living room. Nobody else is there, just me and my friend, right? So we're talking about this. We're kind of like whispering it to each other, like trying not to be too loud to where the workers there can hear us or anything. And I could tell that my friend was very, very interested. And as you can see, smoking a fucking joint outside when it's windy sucks. Just stealing my joint. But either way, so I could tell that my friend was very interested in this because as I had already left this place, so he knew that I had left. He knew that I was, capable of doing this, that if there was anybody to talk to about doing this, it was me. I was the guy to fucking go to. I was for real about it. I was actually down for it, and, I would actually, like, be down to fucking, let's fucking go fucking run. Let's go figure something out. Let's find a fucking place to go, bro. Like, who do you know around here, you know what I'm saying? For us to actually stick together and try and do this shit and stay out as long as we fucking can. I was really actually down. Whereas everybody else there, I guarantee you, would not be. Everybody else would eventually start freaking out or, something like that. Fucking, whatever. But either way. So, we're talking about this, and I tell him Well, I just found out that when the power goes out, the doors fucking open. The power was going out very frequently at this point because of the weather. And, I ran up to the gym door when the power went out one day, and I just kicked the fuck out of it for no reason. I don't know why I did it, but I kicked the fuck out of it, right? And it just flew open. So I knew that, the doors unlocked. I didn't know if the doors that led outside unlocked though, but I assumed so. And I figured that we might as well give it a try since it's happening so much. Just give it a fucking try. The next time the power goes out, I'm just going to go for it. And if you just so happen to be by the door, because his room was like 2 rooms over from mine. So if we're in our rooms, bro, we'll just run to the gym door, kick it the fuck open next time the power goes out. And then we'll fucking go to the door that's leads outside that's in the gym, because that's all it was, a door that led in the gym and a door that led outside. Well, we waited about 2 weeks and the power never went out again. We were unlucky with that. So we start talking again and I'm like, all right, dude, well, let's just fucking try to fucking, go through the gym door. Let's just try to fucking break through that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? At this point, it was winter. There was no way we were going to be able to do what I did before, which was, go on the roof and everything. There was no way we were going to be able to do that because, it would be slippery as fuck. And I'm sure they already have it kind of planned out because, like I said in that video, I don't think any kid had ever fucking done that before, so they had no idea what the fuck to do. So I'm sure that they had figured something out, hopefully by then, had a meeting about it or something. I'm sure they did. But, so that's what we decide on. Well, another girl ends up coming over there. She's probably about I'm 15 at the time. She's probably about, 2 or 3 years younger than me or something like that. So, she gets into our conversation. She's like, all right, well, I'm trying to do this too. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like this is the type of thing where, it should be just me and him because you're almost certainly probably going to end up getting caught. But if you really want to do it, I'm not going to stop you, because I could tell that she was the type of person where she would, if we didn't let her be involved, she was going to go and snitch on us and tell the workers that we were, trying to leave this place. So we're like, all right. And then she says, well, I know somebody else who wants to come along too. So she goes and talks to that person. And I know that person's not going to snitch or anything. I know they're cool. So I'm like, all right, go ahead and talk to him. And they say, no, I don't want to anymore. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't feel like doing it today. So we're like, all right, we got 3 people in total. Let's just go ahead and fucking do this. So my friend asked to go to the gym, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go with him. We're going to play some basketball, play some one-on-one basketball, right? So we go in there, we start shooting hoops and everything, and then, we tell this girl beforehand, just ask to come in probably about 10, 15 minutes later. She would always be in there as well with us. She was just one of the kids who would always come to the gym when other people were in there to play basketball and shit. So she has to come in about 10, 15 minutes later. And once she comes in, my friend starts. There were these sand-filled chairs in the gym. They weren't supposed to be in there. They weren't supposed to be outside or anything like that. They were only supposed to be in the living room. But for some reason, they would end up around the building. Kids would bring them in there, and the workers just wouldn't say anything about it. If they were a new worker, if they hadn't been there for a long time, they just didn't know that those chairs weren't supposed to be in there. It's not like that was on the rule book or anything like that. It was just something that you would end up being told, like, hey, don't let those fucking chairs leave the living room, But, so they would be all around. And there was 2 chairs in that gym. So my friend grabs one of these sand-filled chairs and he starts just pushing it, sliding it across the gym floor. The gym floor is, of course, it has a fucking word for what specific type of flooring it is, but it's that slick, fucking clear-coated hardwood flooring, right? So it's super slippery and everything. So, these things just slide right across to these plastic sand-filled chairs, right? So he's slamming it against this gym door, right? He does it over and over and over again. I'm like, fuck it, let me start joining in. So I grab the other sand-filled chair and I start doing it as well. And the workers, of course, fucking pissed. She's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Stop. You can't do this. What are you guys trying to do? You really think you're going to be able to break through that fucking door? She's almost laughing at us. At first she's super pissed, but she's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? These doors were like jail cell doors. They just weren't as heavy duty. They were metal latch locks that would go inside of the wall. They would turn over from inside of the door into the wall. You would hear it go real slow, that as it would fucking undo and go into the wall. And they were activated by a swiped key card. So the only way to be able to get out of it presumably would be with the key card, because it was just big metal ass fucking door. There's no way you're going to be able to break through this thing. So she's just like, all right, well, you guys just do whatever the fuck you want, because I guarantee you're not going to be able to get through this. And they weren't allowed to grab us or touch us or anything unless we were assaulting somebody. I think it was only when we were assaulting staff even. And honestly, I don't even know if they were really allowed to do that then. I feel like it was only if a kid was harming themselves, because there was a time that a kid fucking hurt, literally started fighting with the staff, and the staff did nothing about it. She just literally she just grabbed the kid's arm and dragged them inside. Didn't throw them on the floor or anything, just dragged them inside and put them in their room room were just like, sit the fuck down, stop, just chill, sit the fuck down. But they didn't fucking do anything about it. They didn't actually, and then there was other times where kids fought and everything, and they just let them fight. They literally just let them fight and didn't get involved. So I don't really know, actually. But, she wasn't allowed to do anything about it, right? So we were just continuously doing that, and we realized that we're making no progress at all. This girl gets scared, and, she goes inside. She decides she doesn't want anything to do with it. She doesn't want to get in any trouble. So she goes inside. And, so, like I said, we realized we're making no progress at all. So my friend just starts kicking the fuck out of this door. I'm like, start kicking the latch, start kicking towards where the latch is. So he starts kicking towards the latch over and over, and nothing's happening. This door isn't even like shaking at all, it's just straight solid. So as you can imagine, he is ruining his fucking leg, hurting the fuck out of himself. So he's doing it over and over again. I start doing it. We start doing a little bit of a fucking switch kick. You know what I'm saying? I kick it, he kicks it. I kick it, he kicks it. And then, I just fucking stop. He starts kicking it over and over again. He doesn't give up. And just slow fucking motion, he gives it that last kick. I'm like 3 feet behind him. The workers are about 10 feet behind us. And there's another worker that's outside there who is, another worker came out as well. So there's 2 workers behind us that's standing probably about 2 feet behind the other worker. Now, the other worker who came out beforehand, she had heard me and my friend talking about leaving this place at one point. In the previous story, I was on AWOL watch for talking about this shit. I'd gotten in trouble for it, gotten my shoes taken. So I didn't have any shoes at the time, which was horrible. But this time, I got off of it. I had my shoes, which was perfect, fucking great. But I only had a fucking sweatshirt on. It was the fucking middle of winter. It was probably about 30 degrees outside. It was, it was just the start of winter. It was about 30 fucking degrees outside. So still very, very cold. Not ideal stuff to wear. But, that worker, I completely fucking got off track. That worker had told us, don't even try to run. I used to run track. I'm definitely going to catch you guys. So like I said, just like slow motion, my friend gives it that last kick, and the door flies the fuck open, guys. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, run. He just starts running. I am just as fast as him, so I catch up to him, and we are just running as fast as we can, but we're keeping up with each other. We're right next to each other. These workers start running, trying to catch up with us. I don't look behind me at all. I just continue to fucking run, and I scream out, follow me. He completely ignores me, starts running off to the left, and he starts like grazing slowly off to the left, and I start grazing slowly off to the right, and I'm like, what the fuck? I just look over like, what? And, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm on my own. So I start booking it. The worker who said she ran track is the one who is chasing me. The other worker is chasing, my friend. So I start running, and I run, and I see these people's backyards. I can see that there's this big bush, but it's the middle of winter, so it's kind of dead. So I can see that there's, these people's backyard. So I run into their fucking backyard. I turn around one time, and I can see, I'm already almost at the end of these people's backyards. You know what I'm saying? I already made it almost to the end, to the other backyard, into the other property. I look behind me real quick, and I see the worker pushing her way through the bushes. She's got some nice ass, fresh fucking Jordans on, bro. So like, she's not trying to fuck herself up at all. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I just keep on going, and every single one of these people's backyards is just a bush in between it. There's no fence whatsoever. So I just keep pushing my way through until I make it to the end house. This end house, now this is just me trying to remember it off the top of my head to what I can remember, but I believe it's a dark blue fucking house. And the back porch, they had a back porch that was like raised up, and to the side, I believe on the porch was, I at first, and when I first told this story, I said it was a shed, but thinking back to it, like, I had been to this one dude's house recently that I worked at like a couple months ago, and he had something just like this. I do believe it was a fucking pool house. I'm almost certain that these people had a pool, but it wasn't an in-ground pool, it was connected to their shed and everything. Not that any of this is fucking important, but to paint a picture. And they had a raised up fucking like little thing that was a pool house. Probably had like a bathroom in it. It was a nice ass looking house and everything. The neighborhood that I was in that was next to this residential facility, like one of the nicest like neighborhoods in Cleveland, which is where this residential facility was located and everything. But, so I believe it was a pool house. So I'm like laying like halfway under this pool house, halfway out of it, because I'm not trying to get super dirty. Like I said, it's fucking wet out and everything, raining, snowing. So under the pool house, it's very, very like muddy, very, very, just dirt. So I'm like laying halfway in the, cold ass fucking frozen grass and halfway in the dirt, right? So I'm chilling there for probably about 20 minutes. I'm looking around trying to see if I see my friend run by. If he does, I'm going to run out and try and, catch up with him. Well, I don't see him at all. But what I do end up seeing, probably about after a half an hour of laying under here, I see about 5, 6 workers, maybe even like 7 workers across the street, walking, looking around, trying to find me. I can see, the fucking backyard behind me. I can see the front sidewalk, their front yard, and I can see, the other houses on the other side, their yard, the other side of the street sidewalk, all that shit, right? So I see, about 5 to 7 fucking workers, just a giant group of people that I all recognize that work at this place, walking around on the other side of the street, looking for me. And I know they're looking for me because my friend ran in the opposite direction. He ran towards a completely different neighborhood than where I ran to. I ran for a good little while, probably about like 3 or 4 minutes, which felt like 20 minutes, maybe even longer than that, maybe about like 5 minutes or no, yeah, I'd say about 3 or 4 minutes. And that worker did not catch me whatsoever. I was still looking behind me, like thinking, is she gonna just pop through those fucking pop through the fucking backyards at some point? But no, she did not at all. And from the position I was laying, she couldn't see me from all the way back where I ran through about 5 different backyards. So I'm, just laying there. I think it's funny as fuck, but I'm also still scared that they might be able to find me because all they have to do is look over and kind of just give like a real good look, you know what I'm saying? And they would be able to, see me laying there more than likely. But thankfully, no, they pass by. I see them walk back towards where the residential facility is located, and nobody comes out of their house. Nobody sees me. Nobody is like walking down the sidewalk or anything is able to see me or nothing. And I wait until it becomes nighttime. It's probably about like 2 or 3 hours later. It becomes nighttime pretty early at this point, like 7 o'clock. So, I just wait until I'm comfortable enough to leave, and it's, dark outside, and I leave. I'm freezing fucking cold, man. It's like 20 degrees outside. I'm trying to find myself a Walmart. Well, I continue walking, and I must have had like some type of thing, because there's no way it was like 20 degrees outside and I only had a fucking hoodie on. Maybe I'm fucking mistaking it. There was like light snow on the ground. Maybe it was like 40 degrees or something like that, because there's no way, bro. I would have been like dead. I would have been dead with just a hoodie on, because I remember I was okay, but I was like cold, bro. So it was probably about like 40 degrees outside, I want to say. So I correct myself on that one. But I make it to, I just continue walking, and I'm walking through the nice area of, Cleveland, right? Like one of the nice neighborhoods, $1 million houses, nice as fuck. And I'm like, holy shit, man, like someday, bro, I hope I can have this. I hope I can get the fuck out of this shit. I hope I can make it someday, man. And I keep walking, and it just gets shittier and shittier Cleveland, right? And I believe I'm starting to head towards East Cleveland, because the neighborhood that I was in, it was like Shaker Heights or something like that. And then there was like the next like neighborhood over, and then I think the next like area over was East Cleveland. So I feel like I'm pretty sure I was like heading in that direction. If I'm correct, I don't know Cleveland very well. I just lived next to it for like many, many years, but a good majority of my life, but I don't know. I was like heading towards a shittier part of Cleveland, I believe towards fucking where East Cleveland is located, right? Because it just got ghetto as fuck, man. Just abandoned fucking buildings everywhere, broken down fucking houses, just shitty fucking area, right? At least like the small little area I was in, I got out of it, pretty quickly. But, the area that I was in at this point, right, I, was walking through, and, I, notice there's a bar right across the street. So I walk across the street. Not that I'm going to be able to go into it at fucking 15 or 14 years old. Yeah, 14 years old I was at the time. Not that I'm going to be able to go into it at 14 years old, but, I'm trying to go past it because there's a field next to it. I'm thinking I'm going to go across the field and, make my way through. So as I walk next to this bar, I see in the snow, there's a little snow pile there, I see a beer. It's fucking ice cold. I'm like, holy shit, man. I fucking grab this motherfucker. I fucking twist the top off. I walk over to this, like, staircase, and right in front of me is this abandoned parking lot, right? I'm gonna put my fucking hood up because I'm not gonna lie, a little cold. There's this abandoned parking lot right in front of me. I'm just looking at it, cracked pavement. There's no cars there or anything like that, just completely empty. And, I'm just sitting there drinking this beer. And at the time, I did not like beer whatsoever. I feel like most people don't really like it until they're like 19, 20 years old, something like that. But, I'm trying to drink this thing. I almost nearly finish it, but I decided to just toss it. I'm feeling, pretty all right. Just a light little something from this. I hadn't drank in so fucking long, you know what I'm saying, at this point. Had any sort of alcohol whatsoever. So I just feel, a nice little fucking mood change. I'm feeling all right, you know what I'm saying? And I just continue walking, trying to look for a Walmart. Well, I, get out of the shittier part, and I'm just in this area where it's just straight apartments everywhere. Like, just apartment building after apartment building. Like, I'm talking literally like 50 apartment buildings down 50 different like apartment complexes down this giant highway, right? I'll take a sip off of my Monster real quick. So I'm just making my way down the side of this like big highway. In Cleveland, there's a lot of these, 4-lane in total, but 2-lane on each side roads, and that's what one of these were. So just like a big fucking road. I continue walking, and what do I see, man? A Walmart. I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is awesome. I finally found one. I wasn't lucky enough to be able to find one the last time I left, but I think this is gonna fucking help me. I'm gonna be able to get food. It's gonna be great. So I try to keep note of where this Walmart is located so that I can go back to it. But it's the middle of the night at this point. I'm tired as fuck. I've been walking around this whole time. I've been walking around for hours and hours. So, I'm just trying to, sleep at this point. So I try to find a place for me to be able to sleep. I continue walking, and I end up next to this apartment complex that's just it's just a tower, like giant tower apartment building, right? So I go next to it, I lay down, I try to sleep, and it starts lightly snowing. It is freezing cold. I'm shivering, man. Like, it's bad. And, I fall asleep for probably about maybe a half an hour at the most. And that's all the sleep I can get. I wake up and I'm so cold. It's horrible. I walk back to the Walmart, and I can tell they're just about to open because there are more cars in the parking lot of where, in the back, right corner where employees would park and everything. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to see if they're open. Thankfully, they're open. I go inside. I get myself some fucking food and everything. And, just warm up a little bit. But I didn't really know what to get. I was only 14 at the time. I didn't really know, what the fuck would be healthy for me. So I just grabbed Pop-Tarts and shit. That is horrible. I eat those. I feel like absolute fucking garbage, man. I feel horrible. But I continue to make my way. I'm still freezing cold, and I see this Macy's and Target combination, right? Combination store. Like, there's a Macy's on one side, and there's a Target on the other side. So I go into the Macy's, and I go upstairs. I'm like, all right, I need to steal myself some clothes. I got to figure this out. I got to steal a coat or something like that. So I go, and I'm going through the hoodie section, and I finally find one that doesn't have one of the security tags on it, and it's in my size. For some reason, I don't know if this is a thing that happens at a lot of stores, but if you go through it enough at this store, eventually you would find one that just didn't have a security tag on it, and you would be able to hopefully find one in your size if you just looked at enough shit. So that's what I did, and I got this green Under Armour hoodie. I take that thing and I fucking, walk around with it, and I just kind of throw it on in one of the fucking sections when nobody's around me. And I walk out. I go into the Target, and I'm walking around. I find this Swiss Army backpack, which is the same fucking thing that I have here. One of these Swiss Tech backpacks. And that one was a $60 backpack. Super, super fucking nice. Same brand as this is what I mean. It was just a really, really nice version. So I take that. It doesn't have any security thing on it. I make sure it doesn't, and I start stuffing it with clothes. I think I might have got myself a little bit of food or something like that, but I still just got myself garbage ass shit. I should have got myself canned food or something like that. Even if it was cold, eating some ravioli would have been better than just eating sweets, basically, Pop-Tarts and stupid shit like that. Even getting some bread or something, but I didn't. I just got the dumbest shit possible. I could have went and stolen Lunchables or anything like that, but I don't know. I just didn't think of it at the time. I got the most horrible shit for me possible. I think I got little crackers with cheese in it, those fucking things, and just other random shit that really had no nutritional value whatsoever. So I grab all of that shit, and I'm doing it after once I'm fucking grabbing these clothes. This was the last thing I did, was grab some more clothes before I left. As I'm grabbing this last bit of clothes and I'm stuffing it into this backpack, there's an employee right next to me. And, he's this dude with like a fucking afro, big ass afro and everything. I don't know how the fuck I remember this shit. This is like my 15th attempt telling this story. So literally for some reason this time I'm like feeling like I'm remembering shit so much better than before. Like I didn't even remember that employee had like nice ass shoes on, but I can remember that at this point. Like she had some fresh motherfuckers on, you know what I'm saying? So, either way, as I'm grabbing this last little bit of clothes, there's an employee right next to me. And dude sees me. Like, I notice he looks at me and everything. He gives me, like, a quick glance, and he just looks away real quick. Like, I didn't see nothing, and I'm just like, fuck, well, if he says something, it's whatever. If I get caught, it's whatever. I'm not going to get in any trouble. I'm just going to get sent back to this residence facility. I'm 14 years old. I don't give a shit. So I just, grab the shit, stuff it in the backpack, and start to walk out. And, I just continue to make my way, and, I'm going to go ahead and toss this joint. I feel like this is a good part to end the story. I just continue to fucking make my way. I'll get into the next part of it after, I fucking collect some firewood and everything. I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far. As always, I'm going to leave little fucking, timestamps in the comments for you guys to be able to skip along for those of you who just want to watch the story part of this. But, yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start up a fire, and I'm going to cook some fucking hamburgers or cheeseburgers. So my goal right now is to be able to gather as much firewood as I possibly can. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to stay out here very late, and already at this point, bro, I got a Carhartt fucking jacket, and I am cold, and it's probably about like 30-something degrees outside. So, man, is it fucking beautiful out here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and collect some of these logs up here because thankfully somebody in the past came out here with a chainsaw and cut down, I believe it was, probably an already dead tree, and they just chopped it up. So I'm going to have enough fuel to be able to last me the whole night. This is going to be fucking fantastic thanks to this guy and this guy only. Besides that, I'd just be rolling with little tiny sticks that I found on the ground, which does not work whatsoever. As you could see in the last clip, I picked this up and dropped it, effectively breaking it into 2 separate logs, which would be much more efficient for me to be able to use so that I don't have to, throw one half into the fire and have one half hanging out. I can just use both of them. So this is going to be fantastic fuel. And I say that somebody came out here and chopped this down or, cut it with a fucking chainsaw or whatever. I don't know. Does this naturally happen to trees? Do they just kind of fall into a bunch of different pieces after a little while? I've already used some of these, but I think somebody came out here and did that. But now all I got to do is just roll it down. I just got to be able to get it positioned right to be able to get right through this little lane right here. Just about there. There we go. Now it's time for the other one. Well, I got myself a bunch of logs over here to be able to keep the fire going for a long ass time. But to be able to get the hot coals that I need and to get my fire started, I need some more stuff like this right here. Smaller sticks. So I'm going to be heading up the trail over this way, which I came from, and trying to find a spot where there's a bunch of sticks. I remember there being one up here, but I already collected most of them, so I'm going to go ahead and check it again. But look at this, guys. Holy fuck, does it look good on this new camera, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm only using the front-facing one, not even the back one. Awesome. I was able to collect about 5 or 6 different logs, but I've been having a lot of trouble finding smaller sticks. So I think this fire is going to last a good while, but I'm not going to be able to get it like really burning red fucking hot or anything. And I'm also going to have to try to conserve my smaller sticks a little bit. Everything's just covered in, leaves, as you can see. So all the sticks are completely buried, but I'm about to cook myself up some food. It's going to get dark in about an hour. So I'm just going to start this fire up and keep it going for as long as I possibly can. And then when it's, completely died out, I've completely run out of fuel, or if I end up getting bored or anything, I'm going to head out of here. But I plan on staying here, like I said, as late as I possibly can. I might even go out and try and collect some more firewood soon, but I think I've got a pretty decent amount. So I just built myself up this little fire right there. I'm going to go ahead and get it started and get into cooking. Got my fire going, cooking the old school method. I always like to just get 2 logs, start a fire, and then put 2 logs beside them. Then just kind of balance my cast iron up there. Thankfully, the gas station that's about like 10 minutes away from here had 1 thing of Crisco. So I was able to actually be able to have something to cook this with. Otherwise, my hamburgers would just be completely stuck to this thing. But yeah, guys, about to get myself some hamburgers going. This is definitely way more hot than I need it to be. But it's whatever. You can't really fuck cheeseburgers up, can you? Got these things going, looking pretty good, guys. I was even able to save myself some for later. I'm definitely going to be making myself some more before I go home. My first time mentioning this on this channel, but I'm thinking about focusing mainly on outdoors content, as it seems to be what you guys enjoy the most, and it's definitely what I enjoy making the most on this channel. There's not really anybody doing it either. I noticed Raw OG like a year ago or something like that was making outdoors content, and that's the only person I've ever seen do it. I don't know if he's still doing it. I don't watch his videos, but yeah, I mean, this is what I fucking love doing, and it seems to be what you guys really like on my channel. There's nothing better than coming out here, catching fish, getting fucking fed, and getting fried as fuck. But making videos for you guys while I'm at it adds a whole new perspective to it and makes it 10 times more enjoyable. There are no videos that I like making more than these outdoors ones right here. Once it becomes winter, I don't know if I'm still going to be at it, honestly. I'm not trying to freeze cold, you know what I'm saying? When you're camping outside in the winter, you usually want to invest in a lot of gear to keep you warm, and I don't have a fuck ton of money to be able to do that type of shit. But I'm going to keep recasting out, rebaiting my rods and stuff, hopefully catch something. I don't know if I will. I haven't gotten a single bite yet, so I'm not, betting on it that I will, but might as well try. All right, guys, I got myself a nice little bowl packed right here. I'm going to continue this story with a campfire side smoke session, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video so far. I literally cannot see fucking anything around me. I've said this in like a couple videos that I've made, but when you have the flashlight on, it makes your eyes think it's daytime, so you literally, everything is just pitch black. Like, I cannot see the outlines of anything right now. My vision is just completely black, so yeah, guys, I'm hearing noises around me in the woods, things moving around, fucking creepy, man, and I cannot see whatsoever, but yeah, just trying to conserve as much fuel with my campfire as I can. Just give me some light and a little bit of warmth. But either way, guys, cheers, everybody. So, like I said, I went to the Macy's and Target, got myself a backpack full of clothes, and, left. Well, I went on my way, and I continued with that day. I didn't know what to do. I was trying to figure out and think, like, what the fuck can I do? Is there any way that I can get back to my hometown? My hometown was 4 hours away from, Cleveland, Ohio, so there was, like, no fucking way. I was like, how can I possibly do this? What can I do? And, I just continue on my day. It starts to become nighttime, and I end up, walking through this, shopping plaza, right? And one of the stores, I think, is like a bicycle store, because behind it has 2 bikes, but they have flat tires on both wheels, on both of the bicycles. So, I just fucking grab one of them, I start pedaling on it, and it's horrible. Like, if you ever ridden a bike with flat tires, it is horrible. You're better off walking, but I kind of just got sick of walking and figured anything's better than this. So, it's so much fucking effort to be able to ride a bike with flat tires, but, that's what I did. So I continue riding this bike around and everything, and I head back to the Macy's and Target. Yeah, I don't even gotta light that bowl, still lit. Oh my god. I hope the smoke looks super, super cool on my new camera, but either way, like I said, I head back to the Macy's and Target combo. I got this bike that I'm riding on, and, they're still open and everything. It's not late enough to where they close, but it is dark out at this point, so it's probably about like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So next to this Macy's and Target combo, there was an apartment complex, and along the side of the apartment complex was a row of bushes separating, the parking lot outside to, the windows of these people's apartments. So I find like a little gap in it, and I go and put my bike through it, and I try to hide it and lay it down in this gap between, their windows and the bush, so that nobody is able to see it, right? Well, as I'm doing this, I look over and I see this old man staring out his window. He's got his light on and everything. It's dark outside, so I can see him perfectly. And he's just looking at me with his jaw dropped to the fucking floor. Like, old ass man, frail as fuck, you know what I'm saying? Just jaw dropped to the floor looking at me. I look at him and I give him like just a weird look. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you looking at me like this? Like, if anything, I could understand if you were like mad or something. That's like a weird, like, you're acting like you're literally seeing like Satan himself or some shit. So I'm like, all right, here we go. He's definitely gonna call the fucking police on me. So I just drop my bike, leave it there. Not my bike, but the fucking bike, I leave it there. And I walk into the Target. And I'm kind of walking around a little bit, just chilling for probably about like 15 minutes. And I'm like, all right, what? I should probably get the fuck out of here and try and leave this place in case like the police come in here and try and talk to me or anything like that. In case like they somehow find out who I am and, like if he's able to describe me well enough to where they can fucking, just come in there and try and find me or whatever. So at this combination store, right? Macy's Target combo, there was I'm getting kind of fucking burnt up here, I'm not gonna lie. Feeling really, really nice, this heat off of this fire. Feeling fucking amazing out here. It's probably about 30 degrees right now. It's dropped down a lot. It's dropped like 10, 15 degrees since I first got here. But there was a car lot, right? Connected to this Macy's Target combination store. It was a 3-story car lot, actually, excuse me. So I go into this thing, and when you step out of the Target, I believe it was, you end up on the second story. So I end up on the second story, and I go up to the third one. So when you exit the Target, you end up on the second story of this car lot, right? And, from the right side, you're able to enter the first story, but from where this guy's apartment complex is, you're only able to go up to the second. You aren't able to enter the first. There's a ramp that goes up, you end up on the second story, and you can go directly into the Target. So I'm on the third story, right? And I look over, and what do you know? I see 2 cop cars that are parked like this. Like, there's one going straight and there's one going the other way. They have their, driver's side, facing each other so that they can like talk to each other, and they don't have their flashing lights on, but they have their headlights on, so I know that they're obviously in the car, and they're parked right next to where I left my bike, like right in front of this dude's window, right? Cheers, everybody. So I'm like, I fucking knew it, man. I just fucking knew it. So what I do is I wait up there for a second. I'm like, what the fuck should I do? And I'm like, first thing I think is, of course, I'm just gonna fucking book it. So I go down to the second fucking story, and I can see the first cop car that's like going towards my way, heading towards me, right? Going into the actual car lot itself. So I run around the fucking corner and dip down the stairs to go down to the first way and run out the other side. I don't get chased or anything. They don't end up following me or nothing. I don't even think the dude probably saw me at all. Honestly, I think I just saw him. Because even though, it was late and they were probably about to close in like an hour, there were still plenty of people there, plenty of cars there, plenty of people shopping and everything like that, right? So, I head out without my bike and everything, and I just continue going. And I try to make, track. I try to remember where this Macy's and Target is, because even though that shit just happened, I don't give a fuck. I don't think that they actually, like, saw me or anything or have me on camera, have my picture or whatever. I'm not worried about it whatsoever, right? So, I go off, I try to, sleep somewhere again. I can't remember where the fuck I tried to sleep, but the next day comes around, right? And, I actually think I fucking slept by this fucking store. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I think I, like, found a spot that was, like, in, like, some bushes, like, behind, like, one of those, like, pine trees or something like that, where I was hidden enough, well enough to where, like, somebody would have to walk right up to me to be able to see me. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. It was, like, real close to the store. It was just real well hidden, I'm almost certain, but I can't remember entirely. But I am making my way back to this Macy's and Target. Like, I end up if I did, I walked away because I was making my way up the fucking highway, right? So I'm making my way up the highway at this point, heading towards this Macy's and Target. And as I'm doing this, I look down on the side of the sidewalk that I'm walking on, and I see this little baggie. And it's one of those fucking traditional fucking baggies, tiny ass one with playing card symbols on it. I think it had like spades or something like that on it. So I pick it up and I see inside what appears to be a corner of a tab. No joke. Like a little like quarter of a tab, just a little corner, maybe almost like a half tab. Like, it was honestly a nice sized fucking piece. So it might have even been like a tab but cut diagonally for some reason, because it was a fat fucking piece, I'm not gonna lie. I had never ever taken acid before. I had never tried it before. I had no idea what it was like. So I just decided to say fuck it, and I did it. So I put it in my mouth. I hold it under my tongue for a good while, probably about like 4 or 5 minutes or something like that, and I end up swallowing it as I'm walking. Right before I get into the store, I swallow it. So I walk into this Target, and I'm walking around for a good while, just looking at all kinds of different shit, and it was freezing cold outside, so I'm just chilling in there for a long ass time. I'm in there for probably about a half an hour, and then I go to the Macy's. And as I'm walking around this Macy's, the first thing that I realize is I start seeing tracers, which is something that I've never experienced since. Never ever, But I start noticing, like, I have like that FPS vision where my vision is like real choppy, but I'm also seeing things like waving by. If you know what tracers are, it's basically where like you like glide your hand across, you kind of see it, like multiple, see like 5 of your hands go by, It's like, I don't even know. That's the best way I can fucking describe it. But either way, I'm seeing like mini tracers, not that crazy, not insane tracers, but very, very extremely light, like just like one little like tracer, like I'd see like 2 in my hand or something like that, right? So, I'm seeing like shit like that, but I'm not thinking anything of it. All the lights in the store, the like bright lights on the ceiling, look insane to me. They are like 5 times as bright as they were any time that I had come in there before. Well, I'm walking around, I see the Ray-Ban section, I'm like, holy shit, like I really want some of those. Like, there was no reason for me to, have them or anything like that. I just really wanted some Ray-Bans, and they were just sitting there out in the open. They had them on display, they weren't locked or anything like that. You could just walk up and literally pick them up and take them. So I was thinking about doing that. I was looking at them really fucking intensely, and then I walk over to like the perfume section of this Macy's, right? And this lady comes up to me that works there and sprays me with some perfume, and she looks fucking insane. Like, faces on acid are something that can really trip you out. It doesn't do it to me so much anymore. Like, I can take I'd have to take a really fucking fat amount, I think, or just some really strong tabs or something. I don't know. Like, any time that I've tripped off of acid besides this time, if it was acid or if it just wasn't me, like, being extremely hungry and fucking, like, freaky, like, my body freaking out or something like that, my mind going crazy, who knows? If this was legit, this is the only time that I've taken other tabs besides these 2 fucking that I have, what I'm saying? I've gotten them from the same person. I had these fucking paper tabs, and then I had these gel tabs, and they were all the same fucking batch, and that's all the acid I've tripped on since. Have no idea who to get that shit off of. Nobody fucking has that shit that I know of, But, so yeah, she just looks fucking insane. And I can tell, like, by the way that she's looking at me, that she can see my eyes are like fucking gone. Like, I'm like wide-eyed as fuck looking at her like, holy shit. But I, like, just try to have casual conversation with her. I can't remember what I said, but she was like, you should try some of this out. You might like this. And, she said something like, walk around a little bit, see how you like it. Come back if you want to get some. I was, just something like, all right, thank you, and continued on my way. And in this Macy's, from what I remember, the ceilings were a lot of like these mirror tiled, things where like you look up and you can see the reflection of everything in the store. So I'm just kind of there seeing these lights reflect in it, and seeing all the reflection of the store, like, holy fucking shit. I go up the escalator, go up to the second story, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of walk around and chill and everything. And I don't remember much of what happened after this, but I remember, kind of leaving and ended up coming back to this place. But I know this trip did not last long if it was, and acid trip, and if it wasn't just me losing my mind from literally eating nothing, walking around all day, literally being on my feet all day long, like steal it. I went to a fucking Family Dollar, I remember, and I stole a bunch of drinks, you know what I'm saying? I put them like in my fucking thing and I just kind of walked out all suspicious like. I do remember that. And I got some food as well. That's something that I forgot to mention that I literally didn't remember any other time that I told the story until now, actually. But and, you know, I ended up fucking leaving this place. There was all kinds of other shit that I did. I remember just walking around, all around. I ended up walking through this like carport, and I went inside this building, and it was a construction site. It was completely fucking empty, but it was like a heated building and everything. There was an elevator, so I'm just chilling in there for a little while. Nobody's there. Nobody bothers me at all. I go down the elevator, try to see what else I can see, and it just leads into another section of the building, which basically just leads outside with a couple of other like rooms that are not open, you know. So, you know, I leave that place, I continue walking, and I don't remember what else I did this night. I don't remember where I slept or what really fucking happened, but I ended up going back to the Macy's and Target the next day. So I go back to the Macy's and Target. It's pretty early in the morning. I'm there, and I go over to the phone section, and I start, you know, I go on my Messenger. I remember my Messenger login and everything. I log into Messenger, and I try to text my brother to try to see if he can come and pick me up, because I know he just got his license recently. He was probably like 18 or something like that at that point. So you know, you could imagine being hit up like that when you're fucking 18. He was not trying to do that shit at all. He was not trying to get involved at all, you know. So I'm like, all right, you know, I understand and everything. I end up leaving the phone, signing out of my thing, going and looking around at a bunch of electronics, because I'm thinking, okay, when I get out of here, I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait till I get out of here, get a nice-ass TV, get a new gaming console. It's going to be dope as fuck. Well, I'm over in the electronics section, and I see at the checkout line that there's someone that I recognize. It's somebody that works at the residential facility. No joke. And I can tell he's looking over at me with his like peripheral vision, like he's giving me that side eye look, right? I fucking, you know, I'm seeing him, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, please don't snitch on me. Just act like you don't know me. Please don't snitch on me. I just act like I don't know him, kind of just stray away a little bit. I walk off, and I end up leaving. Well, what do you know? I start walking away, and, you know, I walk out of the carport, I walk, you know, down to the first floor, I go to the right side, and I continue walking off into this other section. It's like a fucking, I don't know, it's just like a driveway that leads through, and, you know, it goes around to the other, you know, the actual fucking, like a parking lot and everything like that. Either way, I'm walking through it, it's just like a big, wide fucking open area. Well, up behind me comes 2 police cars. They hop out, they just grab me, they don't say anything to me, and I'm just like, oh my God, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I say something like that along those lines. I believe it was that, though. This is so fucking long ago. But, you know, they throw me in the fucking car, and they don't end up taking me back to the residential facility. What they do is they end up taking me to this hospital, and I'm there. They fucking have me do a drug test and everything and try to see if I did anything. You know, acid's not going to come up on that shit, thankfully. If that shit even was, you know, I have no idea if it was or anything. And very well, it could have just been some, like, crazy research chemical or anything. Like, honestly, probably, if it was something I found, it probably wasn't even actual fucking LSD, you know? More than likely, it was probably some crazy shit, you know? But either way. I hope you guys can see me good for this part of the video. I decided not to use my flash, but I put all the rest of my wood in my fire. Once this dies down, I'm gonna head out of here, you know, pour some water on it, get all my stuff packed up and whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not catching any fish. If I was, I would stay out here. That's usually the reason that I do if I'm catching a lot of fish, but tonight I've literally gotten one single bite and I haven't caught anything, so figure fuck it, you know, I might as well head home and enjoy my weekend. This is my first 2-day weekend that I've had in like 2 months or something like that. I've been working 6 days a week, you know, ever since. Basically, damn near I started my job. But, yeah, guys, I don't know. I'm hearing all kinds of fucking weird-ass noises out here. Am I high as fuck? I could have swore I just heard like a fucking... I don't know, man. Either way, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this bowl and, So, I was at the hospital, and one of the workers ended up coming there, and it must have sucked for her because, you know, I didn't think about it at the time, but she got called out there. She had to stay there all night with me. They ended up drug testing me and everything, and, you know, I had to fucking stay there all night long. You know, she had to stay there with me until the next day. They finally released me. They were like, you know, you pass your drug test and everything, you can go back to the place. So they took me back to the place in the ambulance. They dropped me off there, and just like, you know, the last time, I didn't get in trouble whatsoever. But upon going back to this place, you know, it was nighttime, right? And I was super pissed off. I didn't want to be back there. I wanted to be free. So what did I do? You know, they asked me if I wanted any blankets or a pillow or anything like that. I said no. I was just laying there with fucking nothing, and I was pissed off. So I went over to the sprinkler in my room, and I pulled the sprinkler. I go up, I stand on top of my little cupboard thing to be able to get up to the sprinkler, and I go fucking with it, like digging my fingernails into it, trying to pull it. Well, it was easy as fuck to be able to do that, guys. I fucking, you know, messing with it, and it just pops out. The water pressure from it is so much that it hits me right in the face and knocks me straight over. I'm not lying to you. It felt like gravity literally flipped on me. My whole body just flipped, completely flipped, knocked me straight over off of the fucking thing. I fell on my back, and the fucking alarm started going off immediately. The people there are freaking the fuck out. They're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. All the workers are freaking out, and they quickly can hear from my room, you know, it's the only place that has sprinklers going off. They can hear the water, and they can start to see it pouring from under my door, right? So they're like, holy fuck, you know what I'm saying? I'm like pretending I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know why I did that, but I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on, you know? Like, I don't even know. So, you know, either way, they take me to this other room in the residential facility that's far away from there. My whole room is completely flooded. It was the middle of the night at this point when they took me back. So it was like 2 or 3 in the morning or something like that they took me back, now that I'm remembering correctly. It wasn't like it was during the day. It was so fucking weird. It was the complete middle of the fucking night, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they take me to this random ass room in the place, and it's just an empty room with nothing in there. They have me sit on the ground, and I'm just laying on the ground with no blankets, no pillow, trying to fall asleep. And, you know, they don't give me any blankets or any pillow. They have me in there for like 2 or 3 days. I'm not lying to you. They get me like fucking some blankets. I think they get me like a little mat to fucking sleep on, but that's it. It's fucking horrible. They just have me in there literally for that many days. You know, the only time I'm able to leave is so I'm gonna go use the restroom or something like that, and that's it. So, you know, it was fucking shitty as fuck. But eventually, you know, they end up taking me to the younger kids unit to go have a shower, and they're all fucking like, why the fuck did you pull the the fire alarm? Like, the younger kids were a lot crazier than anybody else there, honestly. Like, they did some wild ass shit, and a lot of them ended up pulling the fucking fire alarm. They did beforehand and after this, so I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. But they're like, why the fuck would you do that? And I fucking you know, have my fucking shower. I go back, and then a couple hours later they end up having me go back on unit, and everybody's like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's crazy as hell that you would do that. Everything in my room is destroyed. I had so many books, I had shoes in there, all kinds of different, you know, stuff, and everything was completely, entirely destroyed. All my clothes were fucking soaked and everything. Those weren't completely ruined, but all my like all the fucking like books and stuff that I had like Rubik's cubes and stuff like that. Everything was just fucked, man. So, yeah, guys, that's the end of my Escape Storytime Part 2. I hope you guys could enjoy this video. I fucking would light another I don't know if this is cash or not. It is now. But either way, guys, I'm going to end this video here. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I hope everybody's high as fuck. Peace.